In this video, we'll focus on triangles. There are four main kinds of triangles. Equilateral, all sides are congruent and all angles are congruent. In the isosceles triangle, we have two sides that are congruent and two angles are congruent. A scalene triangle, no sides or angles are congruent. And a right triangle, either scalene or isosceles, but it contains a right angle. For example, looking at triangle A, notice we have a right angle. So right away we can say that this is a right triangle. We also want to label the base and the height. The base is this side, and the height would be this vertical side. This particular right triangle would be considered scalene because none of the sides are congruent and none of the angles are the same. They're not congruent either. In part B, we have another scalene triangle. Again, none of the sides are the same length, so none of the sides are congruent, and none of the angles are the same, so none of the angles are congruent. Scalene. The base would be this horizontal base. The height would have to be the vertical distance. So this vertical distance, which we don't actually know in this case, would be considered the height. In our next example, we have two lines on each of these sides. That means those two sides are congruent. A triangle that has two sides that are congruent is called isosceles. The base is this horizontal piece, and the height, again, is the vertical distance from the base to the top. That is the horizontal distance, the height, which we don't know. And in our final example, notice the two bars are on all three sides. That means all three sides are congruent or have the same length. So this is an equilateral triangle. The base would be that horizontal base, and the height, again, is the vertical distance from the base to the top, where we have a right angle there, that unknown height. Note the sum of three angles of all triangles must be 180 degrees. That's always true no matter what kind of triangle we are looking at. So in this example, we want to find the missing angle x. We know that the total sum of the three angles must be 180 degrees. So to find that missing angle, we can first find what we do know. 110 plus 25 gives us 135 degrees total. We know 135 degrees, so the x must be whatever is left over after we take away from 180. This will give us 45 degrees. So x must be 45 degrees. In this example, notice we're given 25 degrees. We know that this is a right angle. We're not told the measure, but we know right angles have a measure of 90 degrees. We're looking for angle y. Let's first add up what we know. 25 plus 90 is 115 degrees. So we know these two angles add up to 115 degrees. If we subtract from the total 180, we can see that the angle left must be 65 degrees. So y has to be 65 degrees.